What's going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 25 Ultimate Team video. In today's video, we got predictions for Team of the Week, week number 8 in the NFL. And don't forget that content will be dropping tomorrow afternoon about 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll probably see a few teasers tonight on Twitter and full reveals on GMM tomorrow morning. It's also going to be another Angry Runs card that we can expect, and we'll show you the winner for that one for this week. But before we go over our predictions, let's talk about the format of the cards that we can expect. Remember, last week we finally saw the return of Team of the Week packs and Team of the Week LTD cards, so we can expect a few more cards than we normally get, like we did last week in week number 8, and more than likely to finish out the NFL season. I don't expect any type of OVR bump, so we're going to stick to 90 overall champions, and that means if you want to, you can essentially pre-build the majority of what you need, if not everything that you need, for the champions that are coming out tomorrow. It's going to require 487 to 88 overall cards from any promo, and then the final card in the slot for these sets is going to be an 87 overall Team of the Week, which you can obtain right now. So if you want to get ready, because maybe you know that one of your favorite players or somebody on one of your theme teams is going to get a card, again, this is all going to be my predictions here, but you can get ready for that and hit the ground running when the cards come out tomorrow, and we should have 2 LTDs along with the 390 overall champions. So let's go through the predictions. We're going to start at quarterback, and we got Jameis Winston with the Browns beating the Ravens. A bit of a surprise there. Jameis Winston definitely made the Browns offense look like an actual offense this week here. He had 334 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns to lead the Browns over the Ravens there. Big game for famous Jameis. And then we have Jalen Hurts. So I'm literally only putting this in here because I'm an Eagle fan. But if you guys were not aware, I mean, he definitely had a great week 8 and deserves a card. He had 236 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, and then also 3 rushing touchdowns. 2 of them via tush push. 1 was a nice little read option, like 10 to 12 yards out. So he definitely had a performance that deserves a card, and he could certainly use an upgrade just sitting here with this core elite. But if you guys were unaware, MUT Leaks did drop all of the team builder leaks. Those cards will be coming out later in the week. I'm guessing probably Saturday, along with Legends. And Jalen Hurts appears to be the NFC East champion. Don't know what the set requirements are going to be to get him, but we do know that he will be a 90 overall card and get all team chemistries within the NFC East. And then we got to show some love to Bo Nix. He's already gotten a lower overall Team of the Week card, but he's actually kind of balling right now, surprisingly too. Bo Nix in week 8 had 284 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, and I believe the Broncos have improved to like 5-3 now. Pretty good record, all things considered there. I mean, they're not going to win the AFC West, but he's having a really good rookie season so far. Now over to running backs. It's confirmed 100% Joe Mixon was the winner of the Angry Runs Award on Good Morning Football over there on NFL Network, so he is 100% going to be getting a card, just like we saw with Saquon and then Tyler Algier the week before that. He should be getting a welcome pack player in which you can use that Angry Runs token to bump him up to an 87 overall for free. That card probably won't be very good, but he is also going to get a 90 overall card. He had this 85 overall team builder earlier in the year, so you'd have to think he's going to be somewhere around 89 to 90 speed if you kind of project this card up to a 90 OVR. We shall see though. But in week 8, he had 102 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. I'm putting Jahmyr Gibbs on the list, number 1, because I'm hoping to manifest this. Number 2, I rock a Lions-Eagles theme team. And number 3, he just flat out deserves it. He had a really good week last week, didn't get a card. He almost topped it this week. He had 1 less touchdown, but 11 carries for 127 yards and 1 touchdown. Last week, he had 7.7 yards per carry. This week, 11.5 yards per carry. Like, that's absolutely insane. So if they don't give him a card, it just 100% has to be because he's getting a card in a future promo, whether it's the Unstoppable promo, which will be coming up after Most Feared, or maybe even the Harvest promo, because we know the Lions do play on Thanksgiving Day. We shall see, but we're going to put him on the list again here. He should get a card. Josh Jacobs had his best game as a Green Bay Packer, 127 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. There were a lot of really good running back performances in general, so I think along with the Joe Mixon card, we're definitely going to see either an LTD or a 90 overall champion running back. And then we have Tyrone Tracy, who's been a huge surprise for the Giants. Now, this isn't a losing effort, and it was also on Monday Night Football, and typically Monday Night Football cards, or performances, don't get cards, unfortunately, but we're going to shout him out anyway. 20 carries, 145 yards, 1 touchdown. That was 7.3 yards per carry. And speaking of losers, CeeDee Lamb might actually get a Team of the Week card. 13 catches, 146 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the loss on Sunday Night Football against the 49ers. But he had a huge second half. He's certainly deserving of an upgrade based off of that performance, even in a loss, but also just kind of due for an upgrade as he is a big name, and he saw a ton of those last year. So we'll see if they're going to save him maybe for the Harvest promo. Again, because the Cowboys do play on Thanksgiving Day, we'll have to wait and see. Ladd McConkey, I'm not familiar with this dude at all, but 6 catches, 111 yards for the Chargers in Week 8 and 2 touchdowns. Really big performance. Honestly, there were a ton of really good wide receiver performances in Week 8. I'm leaving a lot of names off the list right now. You got guys like Kelvin Ridley, who had 143 receiving yards but no touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Josh Downs, Darius Slayton, a lot of guys out there. But you know who also had a ton of good performances in Week 8? Tight ends. It was National Tight End Day on Sunday, and my goodness, all of the tight ends in the NFL caught a touchdown pass, it felt like. I think Cade Otton is probably going to be the one that gets a card. I'd be absolutely shocked if we don't see at least one tight end get a card from Week 8 in Team of the Week. Cade Otton then holding down my fantasy team waiver wire pickup of the year for me. And in Week 8, he had 81 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. I lied, I forgot. We got one other receiver on the list here, Noah Brown. I would not be surprised if they gave him a card strictly based off the fact that he was on the receiving end of that Hail Mary from Jaden Daniels to win the game for the Commanders over the Bears. I don't think Jaden Daniels will get a card because of that Hail Mary, but because Noah Brown was the one that caught it, I would not be surprised if he gets a lower overall item. Now, let's talk about defensive players. Another Monday Night Football performance in a losing effort. My guy, Bobby O'Carrot Cake, he had 14 total tackles. Pretty sure that led the entire NFL. Half a sack, and then also 1 forced fumble in that loss on Monday Night Football. Speaking of Monday Night Football, we also had on the opposite end TJ Watt. He finished with 7 total tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. That forced fumble / sack was huge because it pretty much almost sealed up the deal. I mean, Danny Dimes sealed the deal by throwing that interception, but the Giants were knocking on the door, attempting to tie that game up, and TJ Watt came through. Now, I don't think he actually gets a card. We're going to mention him because he had a really good performance, but TJ Watt is one of those players that always has good performances and never gets Team of the Week cards because they're usually saving him for a bigger promo. Maybe the Unstoppable promo that's going to be coming up next week. We shall see. Arden Key had a pretty good Week 8 as well. 6 total tackles, 2 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. Basically identical stat lines in that regards to TJ Watt minus the 1 tackle. And there were a lot of really good players who got an interception, like CJ Gardner-Johnson. But the 2 players that I'm going to point out, number 1, we got AJ Terrell. I'm hoping he gets a card because, listen, his Core Elite, the card we're looking at right now, was actually a pretty good card early in the year. He's a man-to-man archetype, so they might give him a really good man coverage corner card. He's 6'1", he would have decent speed. So he's the first corner on the list. Again, many guys out there that caught an interception in Week 8. I just decided to narrow it down to 2, and the other one is going to be Xavier McKinney, who literally has like an interception every game this season. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but my goodness gracious, what a pickup for the Green Bay Packers in free agency. What a huge loss for the Giants. I absolutely love that for them, but you just have to think enough is enough. When is Xavier McKinney going to get an upgrade? Dude gets an interception almost every single week. Will Week 8 finally be the one? We shall see, and those are my predictions for Week 8, Team of the Week in MUT 25. I'm sure there's a lot of players that I left off the list that I snubbed that you're thinking about right now. If so, leave it down below in the comment section. Let me know who I missed on, and thank you guys for watching another video. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.